It's my great pleasure now to introduce Dr. Diana Ashe, Professor of English, who will give the commencement address.
Thank you, Chancellor Miller. Nearly 12 years ago, when I was struggling whether to accept UNCW's job offer or to go to another university, the pressure was intense and time was short. With decision time running out, I received an email from Don Bushman, who is now the chair of my department. Did I mention, his email said, that the chancellor has declared UNCW a dog-friendly zone where minimal leash laws apply? My response was immediate: I'm in. Weighing possible teaching assignments, relative prestige, and distance from my family paled once I learned of the dog-friendly campus. Moving 1,200 miles alone with newly diagnosed epilepsy and a golden retriever, I needed some assurance that the university where I would spend my career would celebrate the richness and fullness of life. UNCW is that university. When I accepted the offer for this job, the ponds we now refer to as Lake Lutzy were a parking lot. Where else are parking lots bulldozed to make way for ponds? And just this year, in response to an outcry from students, staff, and faculty, plans to relocate and pave over those ponds were canceled. Where else does that happen? Where else do 1,700 volunteers help with move-in every August in preposterous heat to welcome the incoming class of first-year students? And that's right, and it's awesome. And where else can those same first-year students wave goodbye to their families and then catch a wave at the beach blast to continue that welcome? Where else but UNCW is a whale skull leaning against a wall in a quiet stairwell like so much unused office equipment? Where else can students witness a dolphin dissection one day and a whale necropsy on Carolina Beach? Where else is there Wagsgiving, that glorious celebration of Thanksgiving holiday? That's right. That feeds thousands and even provides 120 pounds of tofurkey so that no one is left out of the festivities. Where else could thousands of students converge on the library on a cold December night and pull off a seamless flash mob rave a year ago? Nicely done, nicely done. Where else are students completing independent research projects alongside their professors with topics like the structure of white muscle fibers in the ratfish, the effects of less than lethal force technology on police practice, Nietzsche's conception of suffering and privation, the origin of food words, and my personal favorite, UNCW's honor code and the formation of a moral community? Where else is there a clock tower that can withstand a level 5 hurricane? Wing fling, oozeball, a campus wildflower preserve, television shows filming on campus, and this one was suggested by my students, dollar tacos. At 64 years old, UNCW is hardly the elder statesman of even the Colonial Athletic Association. Given its relative youth, it's remarkable how many traditions it has already nurtured and how rich each of them is. We came to the right place. I believe in this place, and I believe in higher education. I believe in higher education with the kind of fervent faith that only someone still repaying her student loans can have. I believe in higher education too because I was the poor kid in school, getting free lunch, bussed across town in Durham, the youngest of 4 kids of a single mom without a high school diploma. My mother is wicked smart, and she was her high school's yearbook editor. But when the administration learned in March of her senior year that she had married my Navy dad, they kicked her out of school. She went to community colleges all over the country, whenever she could and wherever my father was stationed, but still had no high school diploma. When my father left the Navy after 16 years, and my mother left him not long after, her education took a backseat to ours. Some years into the struggle, she met the man who would become my stepdad, without whom I would not be standing here. Ed began to write letters and make phone calls to the school board in Whittier, California, asking them to reconsider their 20-year-old decision. They did. For their one-year paper anniversary, Ed presented my mother with her high school diploma and told her to quit her job so that she could finish college. Like most teenagers, we really wanted to hate our stepdad, but moments like that made it impossible. By the time Ed died of lung cancer in 1995, he had long occupied the place in my life reserved for hero. My stepdad was heroic not because he accomplished anything earth-shattering or record-breaking, but because he made something happen that was the most meaningful thing possible for the person he loved. And that single achievement enabled many more. The school district retroactively awarded diplomas to several other students who had been denied them 20 years before. My mother was able to earn her teaching certificate and teach high school Spanish to thousands of students. My siblings and I learned a profound lesson about the value and impact of education and persistence, and perhaps more significantly, about love. All of those things came out of Ed's effort to get Mom's high school diploma with help from two things. One, his ability to see the situation without the shame she attached to it. And two, a cool concept that rhetorical theorists call kairos. Kairos is a concept of time. The ancient Greeks had two concepts of time, one quantitative, chronos, and one qualitative, kairos. We count or mark time with chronos, but kairos is the moment in which something can happen, the opportunity when circumstances come together precisely. Ed was a programmer at IBM at the time, so I don't think he ever heard the term kairos, but his innate sense of the kairotic moment told him that times had changed. The school district would recognize that my mother and her classmates in the same situation had earned the credits to graduate, and their marital status wasn't relevant anymore. It was no longer 1961. The kairotic moment had changed. So I'd like to think about our kairotic moment. We already established that we came to the right place. UNCW has given you a powerful learning experience, and you have been successful at getting the most out of it. I could not be any more excited for you. This is huge. It's perfectly reasonable, though, to wonder whether you may have come to the right place at the wrong time. It's perfectly reasonable to see any number of occurrences on the national and international scene and decide that you might be better off holing up somewhere, maybe Mom and Dad's basement, until things start looking more promising. But I share Ed's story to illustrate that the perfectly reasonable thing to do can leave you holding nothing, as was Mom, feeling ashamed and carrying transcripts from 5 different community colleges. And the unreasonable thing, the impossible thing, can offer a solution for you and for those around you. Imagine the day those other people opened their mail to receive their high school diplomas after more than 20 years. Imagine. Now imagine the ways you might use kairos to your advantage and the advantage of those around you, and those who are in need of the skills and ideas you now have to offer. Imagine what your letters and phone calls and proposals and inventions and applications and analyses and stories, films, experiments, and programs could do. Today is the day of your graduation, a day when Chronos and Kairos crash into one another. Kairos doesn't mean just act now. Kairos means act in a way that is appropriate for this moment. Kairos on your graduation day means considering what is important to you and to those you love. What offers your lives the greatest possible richness and fullness, and acting in ways that will bring those things to fruition. Kairos on your graduation day means taking stock of the potential impact your actions can have on the world around you and maximizing the benefits of that impact. Kairos on your graduation day means exploring every possibility for your future until you find the one that enables you to say, without hesitation, I'm in.